How about that office hours?
Yo, what is up, everybody? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to Office Hours. I did see something right off the bat that happened over in the chat pod for the live show, and that is the Discord. I just want to plug it right away. We have this awesome Discord. You can go to you can go to discord.gg/ACC, and then you can come down here into the classroom chat. So if you see over on the corner, classroom chat, you can click there and it joins a voice channel. Elizabeth is hanging out there, and today we will all be creating something together. So go to the voice channel. You guys can talk about it. You can give your feedback. You can ask questions to each other. We may bring you on the show at the end to ask questions if you have any for us. So go join that voice chat. And then there's one more thing. There's one more link that we need you to click. And that link is going to be in the chat. Our friend Wade, moderator Wade, is going to drop a link into chat. And Nick, where does that link take them?
That's going to have the InDesign file, I guess, that the we're doing today. Here it is. It's like a cool little 4-page booklet, just like the title says. So we're going to all do this together. And this is going to be my first attempt at doing anything InDesign ever. So
Yes.
if you just want to sit back, relax, and laugh, you could do that as well.
Yes, you can, all those. So Wade's going to be dropping that link throughout. If you're just joining us, it'll be something you can download. If you're watching the replay, I believe it will either be in the description below or it'll be over in the chat as it goes by.
Yes.
So join us, hang out, but most importantly, Nick, we gave a bunch of announcements, but we never introduced ourselves. Hi, I'm Andrew Hockrattle.
I'm Nick Longo.
And
Yeah, we
this
haven't done that in a
is
while.
Office Hours.
Yeah.
That felt right. What is Office Hours, Nick?
Office Hours is our weekly meetup. We're here every Friday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, and we are just here to kind of end the week on a high note, get you guys like up your game when it comes to anything, when it comes to creative, the applications you're using, how to run your business, how to get a job. We started as a little portfolio review site back in the day, don't forget, and
Yes.
look at us now. We're
Built to
teaching
an
basic.
empire.
Yeah, you caught us right in. This is the end of our Creative Basics 101.
Yes.
And be sure to look at everything that we have in the past here. What is this? Episode 8, I believe?
This is episode 6, I believe. No, this is
it?
episode 8. You're right. Yep, this is episode 8. You're right.
Like, if there's one thing I can remember, it's at least our show counts, right?
Yes.
But what are we moving into next week?
Yes.
Something
So
really
this
cool.
week we're going to show you how to make a booklet. We're going to be working at InDesign, but next week is something that we are all very, very excited for. We are starting 5 weeks of logo bootcamp. It is going to be all logos, and next week we'll be covering how to make a great logo. Look at those guys right there.
What? Where did this come from?
Right?
I don't
so-
remember posing for this.
I just photoshopped you onto someone else's body. So next week we're talking about how to make a great logo. We'll be doing Logo Basics 101, and then we'll be continuing with how to do a logo type, how to do a logo mark, how to do a brand system, how to do responsive logo design. It's going to be 5 weeks of logos. So join us, please, for those episodes.
Stop, man.
Yes.
It's quite a great one for us to kind of zero in on as well. I know we both love doing that, but anything boot camp for me is always great because it's just a way to kind of like continue on it, stay on that one area of design and really, really understand it. So this could be a blast.
And
Can't
we
wait.
have somebody in the live chat that already made the comment of the first thing that we're going to do. So let's go ahead and hop in. Wade, as you're doing the chapter markers, we'll just mark it right here like we're getting started. Hey everybody, welcome to Office Hours. Thanks for skipping all that stuff at the front that we were talking about. Welcome to the chapter about us working. All right, so let's hop in there.
Yeah.
And as always, you can join and design along. You can get the link over in our Discord. The link is right there, discord.gg/ACC. And someone mentioned the first thing that we are going to do here in InDesign. If you haven't used InDesign before, it's for making and booklets, layouts, kind of print work. And we've missed something on our document. As you can see on this document, it looks great, but if we hit W, which is the hotkey to change our view, you can see there's a lot of content that's floating out on the sides, right? I hit it.
Yep.
So this is the content that we'll be using today if you're following along, but someone has mentioned we don't have bleeds on this. And Nick, what are bleeds?
So bleeds are if your art in any way is going to go past the piece of paper you are printing on. And then that gets trimmed to the actual trim size. Are we going to do bleed on this, or are we going to say no?
We're going to do bleed on this.
We're gonna
So
go.
the way to set it up, if you're
Nice.
sending something to the printer, bleed is just extra area. So we're going to go to File, and then we're going to go to Document Setup. Super easy. And we're just
Nice.
going to turn the bleed and slug right down here. And we're going to do a 0.125. That's the normal all the way around. Right, Nick?
There you go. Yes.
All right.
There we go.
Nick would be the master of like bleeds and settings. So we're going to hit OK, and you'll see it adds a red line. And that's
Yes,
just
there we
telling
go.
us that it needs to go over that edge. So when it cuts, there won't be a little like white border at all.
Perfect. Love that. I think I'm glad you brought that up because I think for any beginner in whatever program you're doing that you're going to send to something that's printing, make sure you are aware of that, if that's going to be a bleed or not, because of the cost when it comes to something like that, and your client or your job, whoever you're doing it for. So just make sure you're kind of identifying that at the very beginning.
Yep. So we have been working through this series, and we'll probably continue working in an idea of something that we've created together. If you haven't joined our community, we've been creating together, and it is the Mythic Rescue Cafe. It is a cafe that helps to raise money for animals on the endangered species list, because we don't want any more animals to become mythic, and we want nothing to be extinct, and so we're raising money. And so today we are going to be making a booklet for that cafe. And Nick, what are you going to be covering in this booklet?
So I'm going to be doing the 2 pages inside, which will be the actual menu, but we're going to lead with what Andrew's going to create on the cover. And you'll see, I think working collaboratively is always really kind of fun because you can kind of start the pace off there. We're going to try even sharing some stuff in the library we built. So when it comes over to my pages, we got a nice flow going from whatever Andrew's going to design here.
Yep. So what I've noticed initially is that we have some work that we've taken from Discord that people have submitted, which are just great logos. And I'm going to kind of pull some of these over and use them on the cover here. So what's awesome about using libraries in Creative Cloud is I can just click and drag this into InDesign. And we've talked about this before. InDesign shows you what you're holding, and then it's your job to put it where you want it to go. So I'm just going to click, and it's going to place this here for me. And that looks pretty good. We're just going to align it up to the center here.
Great.
And I think under that, I want to do kind of just a big photo, right? And we're, again, going to incorporate some Adobe stock here. But instead of doing a placeholder like we have in the past, I'm going to use the pen tool to make an organic shape. So I'm going to click on the pen tool here, and then I'm going to start 1 point here. And the pen tool is just saying start here and go to somewhere else.
Yes.
So we're going to have it go over here and create this cool like slant.
Nice.
And then I'm just going to hold shift, and I'm going to click on these corners so that it goes all the way around to these corners. So now I have this shape. You can't see it. There's nothing on there. It's no color. But what I can do is I'm going to select it and then come over to my swatches, and I'm just going to make this pink, right?
Nice.
That's going to allow me to understand a little bit more of the flow of where things are going. I may want to move this logo, but we'll figure that out as we go.
For now it looks good. And you should say you went to the bleed line just so that is intended to go off the page on the final.
Yes.
Looks good.
Yep.
Nice.
So I'm actually going to make a copy of this because I think I might need it later. So I just hit Alt or Control and dragged it to the side because who knows, I might need that angle later. But what we're going to do is I'm going to select this, and then I'm actually going to go up here in the corner. Let me go full screen for you. And we are going to do maybe unicorn. So this is searching Adobe stock. So it's going to open up Adobe stock for me. And here I have a bunch of images of unicorns. This looks awesome. And I can actually filter to only be photos, right? I don't want any of these illustrations that are happening. I only want photos.
Yeah, you got all your choices to funnel it down. Looks great.
So let's find something that feels kind of elegant and refined and magical. The cat riding. I love this photo here. I think this is a really good photo. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to save to library. And you'll see that it will pop up in the corner here. And I actually want to change the library that this is in. So I'm going to click on Manage. And I'm going to scroll down. Nick, what's ours called? It's called Live Sessions. So Nick and I have shared a library, and I'm going to click on Live Sessions right here, and it will save that to Live Sessions. Now, watch what happens. It's saving, little circle is flying around. It's thinking about it. It's thinking about it. It's thinking about it. And we are using Adobe Stock here. If you want to, you can use Adobe Stock free. I think we're using the regular version. So I can click on this shape, and you see that it's already popped up in my library. I can simply click and drag this and then click on that shape, and it will place that into the shape for me. That looks great, actually.
That really does look good. So, quick question: when you have just the shape there, you've done nothing else to identify it as a mask, but just drag it to the inside of that shape.
Yep, exactly. So it shows
Yeah.
you that you have picked up this image, and I just click on the shape and say, hey, I want you to place this image, but drop it into that shape. And what's awesome with InDesign is if I undo that, it picks it back up, and I can drop it into another shape over here if I want.
Great.
So it really expedites the process. So you're just picking things up and setting them down in different areas.
Nice.
So I can grab the direct selection tool, which is the outlined one here. So there's a filled in one and the outlined one. And with the direct selection, the outline, I can drag this around so I can find the perfect place for that unicorn horn to really sit nicely.
And I think great about that is that's the tool you would do the same thing for, like an Illustrator. And so to have that familiarity is really great. Like I would almost go to that with instinct, and then to find it works in InDesign, I'm going to be like, good. Got it.
Absolutely. So I'm going to add some visual interest here and do one more shape using that pen tool. And I'm going to go ahead and start in the corner as well, and then click and come all the way through. And this is a super easy way in InDesign to add some really interesting visual elements without making things too crazy. And so I want to maybe do a blue on this. So I can come into my swatches, find a blue. This is a very bright blue. But we'll use it. And then I can use blending modes. So blending modes are something that helps images interact with each other. And especially in layout, when you're working with something in InDesign like this, using the blending modes is going to be so helpful. So we're going to go to Window and Effects. Where did it pop up? Over here. All right. All my windows are popping up in weird places.
There we
All right.
go.
So there's my effects, and we can go ahead and click on Effects and then hit Multiply. So we're changing the blending mode to Multiply. And you can see now, right, that it's created that kind of interaction between the two. That looks pretty cool, but it feels a little bit too thick. So what I can do is, because it's already going over the edge, I can just click and drag it, right? We don't really need to pay attention to wherever it's, we don't need to pay attention to anything that is outside our area. And I might want to do this orange, so I can double click on the fill.
Yeah.
And then I can bring this to more of like a dark orange color.
There you go.
Okay, that looks way worse, but like...
You could pick up the green from maybe the image, or
I'm
the
not
red
mad about
from
that.
Yeah, it looks good.
All right, cool.
That's got blend.
So we'll leave that. I'm going to use this logo and just bring it up just a little bit. And I just use the scale tool there to bring it up. So this looks pretty good to me for a cover. We'll come back and I'll show you some more features that you can do here. But Nick, do you want to hop into the middle and we can kind of do some layout on the content?
Yeah, perfect. So we've got the first 2 pages on here on the inside. And what we've done is we've brought in some copy into this. So there's just some fictitious copy for the menu, a little bit of a story.
Actually, Nick, sorry, can I talk about one thing real quick so we can try to track? So when we have scrolled through this InDesign document, because this is very different from Photoshop or Illustrator, there are pages, and you can see your pages panel up here. If you want to add a page, you can click on the plus and it will add a page. But there is something happening that is pages and spreads. So a page is happening on my screen, and on Nick's screen is a spread. Nick, what's the difference between a page and a spread?
Yeah, the spread's showing you the pagination of how this is going to be made with cover by itself. That's basically the front. Then you got your 2 insides. So we're doing an 8.5 by 11 folded. And this is how it would look in pagination style.
Exactly. So instead of doing 2 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper, we're doing a cover, an open fold, which is called a spread, and then we're doing the back cover. So it looks a little bit differently depending on which screen you're looking at. Nick's going to be working over there.
That's great. Perfect. So yeah, wow, I already did a few moves without even your help.
Right?
Did you see that?
Nick's doing it. He's a pro.
So I love doing like I just put a little header on the top with the box, and then going to, now notice we're both sharing the same CC library. So everything that he was able to grab, all these little assets, we could do the same thing here. So I'm going to try doing that like what you did, bringing it over to here. And there we go.
Yes.
And now I can make this a little bit bigger here, I'm assuming. Let's see.
Yep. So when you click and drag, it's going to stretch it if you do that. So you're going to need to hold Shift to kind of move that around. And there's another way that you can do that that will actually make it super easy to scale across. So I'm going to hop back over to my screen real
Go for
quick
it.
so that I can show you. All that you need to do, and InDesign I think is the only program that has this, is when we placed this aquarium into that shape right there, it's cropped out. So all you have to do is right click and go to fitting and then fill frame proportionally. And what it's going to do is it's going to scale it up to fill that whole frame. And then we don't have to worry about it, right?
But still in 100% proportion all the way around.
Exactly, exactly.
So let me see. So I'm going to do an undo or two here, and we'll try it again. So I'm going to bring it right into that one. And then you said right click.
Yep.
And that was
fitting.
Fittings. And then proportional.
Yes.
There we go. Love it. Look at that.
Look at you go, Nick. We're doing
Feeling
it.
pretty good. Now I want to put menu maybe reversed out here. So give me the rundown.
So
text tool?
Yes, if you want to, if you want to add some text in there, just do the text tool. And unlike other programs, there's no way to do just a headline of point types. So you need to click out a text box.
I remember that from last week.
Yes, and so it's going to be pretty much the same formatting as you'd have. You can type it in, you can change colors, work with fonts. So pick whatever you want for fonts and stuff, and then we can work on getting that into the library. So I can work on it as well.
Perfect. So let's go with, let's get something nice and there we go. Perfect. And then we need it to be in white. So we'll get that here. And then we're going to pump up the size. So I'm assuming that is going to be this guy right here. Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. All right.
And if you want to work with the familiar panel, you can go to Window and then open up Type and Tables and then just open the character panel. And that is going to be just like it is in Illustrator or Photoshop. So if you want to be familiar, you can do that. But there are a lot of tools in the top bar that aren't in other programs, which are very helpful.
Wonderful. Okay, so now what we want to do is we've got our copy that's over on the side here. We're going to bring this in for our pasta, our burgers, our I think that's what we got on this one. Or this is probably everything, right? It's just continuing in that one text block.
Yes, so it does have this little dot. So I'm going to show right here this little plus that's here, the little red plus means that there's type that's overlapping. So there is more there, and we'll figure out how to make that flow as we go.
All right, so I remember last time we made like another box and connected them, so it kind of like flew together, right?
Yes.
There was that flow. Okay, so what should we do first? Like format everything as far as the width and the column. I know I just brought it over there, but don't we want to build some columns?
Yeah, so what I would do first is I would either break it into columns or I would flow all of the text so I could see it, so that I could start to get a feeling of the formatting. So how would we make a column, Nick? Please show us how to make a column. This is a quiz for Nick. So Nick's fairly new to InDesign, so we're all learning together. But Nick, how would we make a column?
This is like on the spot. I
It is.
remember. Oh, is it right here? Nope, that's not it.
Nope, it is up in the top bar.
There it is. All right, so it's changing the 1 to 2?
Yes, exactly. So up there is the columns. Bravo, Nick. A+. Right up there is the columns. That's all your alignment tools. Everything that you'll need is going to sit up there, but these do change. So the upper column, if we click on it, you can see in Nick's, we did have the columns right here. But if I double click on it, it actually changes to be my type panel. So all of these change so you can edit type. So InDesign's very intuitive of knowing whether you have the shape frame selected or if you have the actual text selected.
Gotcha. Now, once I've done that, this is still movable, right? Like, so I can move this.
You can stretch it, you can scale it, you can do whatever you want.
So as I move this here, it's still keeping it 2 equal. We've got the gutter in between that maybe we can add a little bit more there as well. But this looks great because I'm actually getting the vibe that the copy we have here is going to fit on this one side, and it just needs a little bit of formatting, I'm assuming here.
So far, yeah.
Okay.
And so something that you're doing, I think on your screen that I can kind of see is, are you going all the way to the purple lines?
Say that again?
Oh, no. So are you going all the way to the purple margins?
Purple margins.
Oh, your margins are turned off, Nick. So go ahead and hit W. Oh, interesting. Your margins are different than mine. I don't know how that's possible if we're working on the same file.
I know.
But
did I do something wrong when I went to bleeds?
Maybe not wrong, but maybe different. And you did because you don't have bleeds.
I love that. Maybe not wrong. It's just different.
It's just different. So if you want to, you can go all the way to the edges. So usually the suggested edges of the margins here are going to be really good. So if you fold it, nothing will get mixed up in the middle.
Yes, exactly.
And Nick, real quick, we just had a bunch of people come in. I'm guessing you're coming from a tweet if you're here on the live show.
Hey.
Hello, I'm glad someone tweeted about us. Thanks, Adobe. Nick, what are they turning into? What is this show?
You just got us for our InDesign. This is Adobe Office Hours. We're here every Friday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. And Back to Basics is like this new one, Creative Basics, that we're doing. And we are putting together a booklet on InDesign, and hopefully that's how you found us.
Yep.
Right?
And if you're here and you want to design with us, literally right now, there will be a link over in the chat right there. And you can download this file and work alongside us. It's going to be a great time. We're going to be hanging out. And if you want more of the show, it happens every Friday, 2:30, right here on Behance.
Yeah.
And next week, we're talking about logos. So if you want to learn how to make a logo, if you want to learn what makes a great logo, set your calendar. Mark a reminder. We will be doing this next week, and we will have 5 weeks of logos. All 5 weeks for the next 5 weeks is all logos. So let's hop back in to InDesign, Nick.
Perfect.
And
full disclosure for everybody who's joined us, I am totally new to InDesign. This is the one app that I just do not use, and so I'm getting a crash course along with a lot of you.
Yep, we're all learning together. What fun, what joy.
Perfect.
So, Nick, all right, what do we want to do next?
Okay, so I know we've got titles. So we have our pasta section, our burger section, and our desserts here as well, and I think there's sides. So I need to figure out how to separate these, right? I want to have a title maybe, and then some style. I know last week you showed how you did something and then completely repeated that over and over again with each block of copy.
Yes.
Correct?
So let's go ahead and in InDesign, you want everything to stay together, right? Think of it as if it's like a Microsoft Word document and you're just formatting as you go. So you want to keep everything in this box, but let's format it. So let's focus on finding our header fonts and then our body copy fonts, and we can use those in different ways. So if you want to show one, then we can show how the type works, and then I want to address something that just came up in chat. So what fonts are we going to pick? How do we change them? All
right, so I'm going to pick pasta for the headliner here, right? So we're going to go back to our heavy copy here with the a little bit bold. We're going to maybe pump it up a little bit in size. Now, I'm just doing this to kind of show the visual, but I think you did some stuff last week where you showed how, like, did you just do the first paragraph in everything you wanted and then we repeat that, or do you set a style?
Yep.
How do you do this so it's easy all the way down?
The easiest way that I like to do it is to just set one of each of what I want. And then I'll show you how to copy and paste that. So get your headings, get the titles, get everything set the way that you want it. And then I'll show you how to go in and kind of match all of that.
All right, perfect.
It's much easier, Nick, to do the rest of that. It's much easier to do all the body copy how you want it, and then go back and just change the headlines. So set those two top headlines, and then select everything else and format it as a body copy, and then you can just go back and fix the headlines.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying. All right, perfect. So get everything the way you want it here, correct?
Yes. Yep. Get the top two, and then everything else we can just change over with.
Excellent.
Yep.
There we go. All right, so we got that going there. And then so if that's what you like, and then turning off hyphenation, I'm assuming that's in paragraph styles?
Yes, it is in paragraph. So go to your window. So you're going to go up here to window, and then you're going to go to type in tables, and then click on paragraph right here.
Oops, there we go.
And paragraph's going to pop up, and you can just turn off that hyphenation, and all your hyphenation goes away.
Perfect. There we are. Look at that. We're looking much better there as well. So now that I've got my copy the way I want it in that font, maybe that size.
Yep.
Now you go in and just do the headlines and the dish names, correct?
Yep. And let's do one headline and one dish name, and then I'll show you how to copy that to all of the others really easily.
So we're going to make that bold, and then we're going to make it, so we're at 13. I'll make this 16. That looks good enough for now. I like that. And then for these guys, let's take that and we'll make it maybe medium. Ooh. And probably needs maybe just a little jump in size. So I'm going to make it 14.
Type hierarchy.
Okay, perfect. Gotcha. And then
so now
color.
Let's add some color. Yeah, go ahead and add some color.
So if I want to grab from the blue here, what's the best way? Just eyedrop?
Yes. So we're going to use the eyedropper tool for a million things today. And actually, you can use the eyedropper, and then I'm going to show a different way to do that. But yeah, go ahead and use the eyedropper.
Oh, so it's giving me this as my little swatch from this?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so then now I'm going to go here. How do I get those blues back?
You should be able to just click on the eyedropper tool. with that highlighted. So go click on the, oh, actually, sorry, you have the wrong eyedropper highlighted. So there is a tool. If you guys can see Nick's screen, let's show the difference.
Yes.
Your eyedropper tool right now has the little palette next to it.
So get rid of it.
On my screen, mine doesn't. If you click and hold, you can find the eyedropper, and you want the eyedropper, not the color theme tool.
Perfect. All right, cool. There it is. All right, perfect. Love it. Let's see how that looks. Oops. Oh, it's still black. Let's get this here. Maybe I did it. There, and we got our eyedropper. We'll go to a medium blue. There it is. Perfect.
Yep, looks great.
All right.
So we'll do that on the next one there.
Okay, let's give it more, maybe this one here, so it's a little bit different. Nice.
Ooh, yeah. All right. So now what we can do is you're going to highlight one of those words, whichever one you want for the areas. Yep. And then you're going to grab the eyedropper tool, and just like we did with the color, you're going to click on that word. So you're going to click, click on that word, and think about the eyedropper, right? We're putting it into water, and we're letting on picking something up. So it's picking up all the formatting. And now when you double click or just select that, it will drop that in. Nick just got so excited about that.
It's great. There we go. Sides and desserts.
Yeah, so you can click and drag, or you can just double click if it's a word or paragraph. And then you're going to do the exact same thing. Yep, just right there, grab the eyedropper tool, and you'll drop it in.
So when you said we'd be using this a lot, got to do it to both words?
Yep, so you can double click, or you can, so double clicking selects a word, triple clicking selects a line, and quadruple clicking will select the entire paragraph.
Look at that, guys. We are, oops, there we go. There we are. Perfect.
Right?
Love that. Looks good. Got this one. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
It's fun, right?
You're like, I love when you're like counting down the clicks there to make sure. 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Perfect.
So
this looks so great.
Easy. Yep. And so all of those ones that you see down there that are the sides, you could click and drag over all of those sides, and it would format all of them at the same time. So you don't have to click on every single one. You can click and drag, and it will do large areas at the same time. It just has everything picked up in that eyedropper.
Now, I have one line here going over from the barbecue bacon cheeseburger. How do I get this one back over here?
So all that you would do, especially in this case, is there's extra space above where burgers is right there. So I would just delete a line and watch what happens. So if you delete a line above that burgers, it's going to wrap everything for you.
There we go.
So that wraps through, and it looks like maybe we're getting cut off at the bottom again, so we can play around with resizing as we keep going.
Maybe we could bring desserts over to the next page and drop in a photo there, correct?
Let's see what happens. Yeah, that would be great.
So I'm going to get there, and then, so it looks like, let's just, because I know there's 3 or 4 other things in our dessert menu. Sides will fit there nicely.
Yep.
But maybe we bring desserts over to the other one?
Yep. So go ahead and keep playing around with that. We got all the formatting. Hopefully you all are formatting along with us. I want to hop back over here and address a question that someone had. And also, I changed the cover because this looks way cooler. Someone said, when I import an image into InDesign, it becomes low res. Yes. Every single image that you bring into InDesign is going to be low res because it's trying to save your computer from rendering everything at high quality. If you want to see everything at high quality, you can go to View, Display Performance, and then turn on High Quality Display. That will give you like super crisp. You can see the difference here. Everything gets a little bit high quality. These are actually pretty low. So it becomes high quality, but if you want to, you can turn on Fast Display, and this just shows you the wireframes, right? We talked about placeholders. That's exactly what it's doing. And this is really great if you're just working with text. It will turn everything off so you don't have to look at it. So I'm going to do typical display here, and I'm actually going to zoom in, and you'll see the difference when I right click on an image, and then I can right click on that image and just go to display performance and turn on high quality and watch what happens. Right? It gets a little bit crisper right there. It's actually a low quality image, but it gets a little bit crisper, so you can turn it on for individuals as well as the entire document. So I want to show one more thing, and that is the features of Adobe Capture that are integrated. So we do a lot of cross-platform things, and Adobe Capture is integrated into InDesign through libraries. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab...
Via Sensei.
Yes, via Sensei, the magic of the cloud. I'm going to click on this piece right here, right? So this is that mythic that we're using as the cover image, as the logo. But I want to find out what font this is, right? So what I can do is I can click on the plus, and it's extract from image is right here. So I'm going to click on extract from image, and Capture is going to open up a window. Check this out. How cool, right? I didn't have it selected. Hold on. Let's have it selected, and then let's extract from image, and it should pop up. There we go. So here, I can literally grab all of the colors, right, that I'm seeing in here. And that's what Nick was doing with this image down here, which we might use actually. But even better, I can click on shapes, and it will start to extract these shapes. So I want a little bit of detail. I want to smooth it. And I'm going to hit Save to CC Libraries. And I think that it's going to kick out a vector for me. So we're going to hit Save to CC Libraries.
Ask what would be the difference here? It's probably going to make a vector.
Honestly, I found out that this existed 3 minutes before the show started, and I was like, we have to do this live.
And you don't have the answer to my question, why?
I'm about to give you the answer right here. So when I click and drag this in, let's see what happens.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, it's pulled it in. So let's go ahead and turn on high quality. Look at that. It has vectorized it for us.
Perfect.
Oh, that is so cool. All right, so I'm going to scale this down. That is so cool. And now we have, oh, that looks great. So it's a little bit more crisp. It has vectorized it for us. And I want to do one more thing with that image that I just deleted. Actually, I'm going to do it with this here. So this image, you saw Nick use it for the type. I'm going to click on this image and then again, come down here to the plus, click on extract from image. And this time we are going to extract our color theme. So check this out. It's pulling the color theme. I love these colors that it's grabbed here. So I'm going to hit Save to CC Libraries. And boom. Hey, Nick, we have a color scheme that we can right click and we can hit Add Theme to Swatches. And boom.
You mean the one I got in my library instantaneously?
Yes. So it showed up in Nick's library as well. And now we can right click and add to swatches and we have all the same colors.
Wonderful. That's great.
So that we know that we're working on the same colors together.
That is killer.
Magic. I hit the wrong button. So now we have to talk about something and we're just checking back in. All right, Nick, back to your screen.
Let's go. All
I hit the wrong button.
And now back to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I need your help because what I want to do is move desserts over and maybe we'll add that story over to the right page.
Yep.
But I love that little blank space there because I can bring in a picture of one of the burgers here.
Yes, I've got a blank space and I'll write your name. That is, as a great theologian said. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, Taylor. All right, so what we're going to do here is we are going to click on that little red plus in the corner. And remember that little red plus always means that there's more content. And from there, you're going to figure out where you want to start and just click.
And drag?
Nope, just
drag or click.
You can click and drag, or if you just click, it will make it the same size.
There we go.
Yep, it'll fill to your margins, which your margins are wrong, but it will fill to your margins. And let me show on my screen real quick just what that would look like. Is if we click on that plus, we're going to fill to these margins. So I'll click on this margin and it will fill right to that margin size that we've designated so that it stays the same as the other page.
Gotcha.
Yep. So looks pretty good. You can leave yours how it is. And I think that looks totally fine. So as you go, there we go. It's pushing to the other page.
Perfect. Look at that. So now I know what I need to do here is give it a space between there, a space between there. I'm going to go to Sparkling Volcano and I drop it once and then go to these guys and a triple here. Perfect. So I love it. We're looking good there.
Yes. And chat, I'm curious as to who is designing along with us. So if you're designing along with us using this file, let us know. I'd love to know. I'd love to see if you want to post it in Discord. I would also love to see your work as you go along in Discord. All right, Nick. So what's your next step? We've got that actually looks really good.
I want to do like a circle here and maybe include one of, I'm going to probably put in the rainforest burger. Let's do it. So would I use the ellipse tool or am I using the ellipse frame tool?
You could use either of them. Again, in Creative Cloud programs, there's no right answer. There are just ways to do it. And as long as you're happy. So which one do you want to use, Nick?
I'm using the frame one.
All right. So you're going to use the frame tool, and that is just going to create an X, and that's just wireframing for us. So it's creating that wireframe for us to start using. And then, Nick, what do we do next to place an image in that square or in that circle?
I believe we're just going to drag something to it, correct?
Yep. So if it's in your Creative Cloud, you can drag something into it. If it's not into your Creative Cloud, it needs to be a little bit different. So
there we go.
There you go. Nick did it as I talked. So if it's not in your Creative Cloud library and you can't drag it through, there's a little bit of a different process. You're going to have your shape here and you're going to go to File and then you're going to go to Place. Oh, Andrew, you always use the hotkey. There it is. Place. And so from here, oh, cool. We have a picture of our friend Voodoo Val here and I'm going to hit Open and it will place that into our shape. Again, I'm going to right click
Beautiful.
and change the fitting to fill frame. And there we have Val inside the circle. So you can do it with, you can do it with a placeholder, but you also can do it with literally any shape. So if I create a crazy shape using the pen tool, I can just select this shape and then go to File, Place, and then choose Val again, and it will fill into that shape. So any shape, again, Illustrator is just Windows. All you're doing is doing placeholders, and you can put whatever you want in there. Nick,
Very nice.
This is looking amazing. I turned my head away for like 3 seconds, and it just is gorgeous.
There we go. Look at that. We got our key lime pie. We got our rainforest burger looking really good there as well. Kind of digging it. Like, I get the familiarity first, and then there's just once you do a few things here, you're automatically kind of feeling comfortable in the app.
Yep,
you know?
Absolutely. And just know that Nick is like so proud, and I hear it in his voice, and it makes me so proud that I'm like, yay, we're doing it in InDesign. All right. So I want to show you, Nick, now that things are laid out, I want to show you how to fix your colors, right? So you picked colors manually, which was great. But then we had this awesome revelation of we can actually extract using Adobe Capture and kind of put in there. So check this out. What we can do is, mine looks different than yours, but same idea, right?
How dare you?
We have the wrong colors. And what we're going to do here is every time that you add a color to InDesign, it's going to add a swatch. So Nick, can you open your swatches real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
So look at one down. Oh, over on the right. It's already open. The panel, sorry, right under there. Yep. One down right there. No, one down, swatches.
Oh, swatches. There we go. Okay, gotcha.
So you can see there, Nick has some extra blues. Where are your blues?
Let's see. Am I filtering down or something?
Interesting. Yeah, it might not be. So we'll hop to mine. We can see as I add a color. So let's say that I created these in a custom color, right? I got this like custom green color. It's going to add in, it didn't add it. Okay, well, thanks InDesign. What's going to happen is I'm going to cheat the system, and I'm just going to grab this color and hit plus to add a color swatch, right? So it's adding that color swatch. So Nick, if you want to do that on yours, go ahead and just highlight that dark blue and that light blue and create swatches of them.
All right, so we're going to do here.
And this is something fun that we're going to call, I think that it's called global colors. I'm not fully confident that's the actual name.
That's what, that's right.
But Nick is going to highlight, hit plus, cool. Nick's doing his thing. Don't worry about it.
Great.
So what we're going to do here is everything that is, so I'm going to undo this just because I use different blues. So everything that is this blue is tied to this swatch now, right? We made the swatch. Everything that's that color is tied to that swatch. So if I right click and then I hit delete swatch, it's going to come up with this delete swatch, and it's going to ask me remove swatch and replace with, and I want to replace it with one of the swatches from our palette. And so I really like this dark blue. I'm going to do that and hit OK. And everywhere that color was, it's going to replace it, right? So if everything is yellow, we're going to delete everything that's yellow, and I'm going to replace it with this nice soft blue. I hit OK, and it replaces everything for me, right? So Nick, if you want to sync up your colors to our library just to make sure that we're the same, let's go ahead and do that. So go ahead and sync that the swatches to your library first. So go to the library over on the right.
Yep, got it.
And then right click and add to swatches. Oh,
perfect. There we go.
Did that work? Oh, weird. It didn't pop up for us. That was funny. All right. So you got those colors in there. So now
theme. So I need to do the whole all 5 of them, right?
Yes. Yeah. So just go ahead and right click, and then there should be there we go.
Oh,
so
look at it. It tells you capture color theme. That's perfect.
Yes, you can name it as you bring it in too, so that it shows up named. So now all we're going to do is we're going to grab that dark blue that you already have there in your swatches panel. Over on the right, up there. So right under where the CMYKs are. See how it has the little swatches?
Say it again. You were just cutting out a little bit.
Sorry. Right up there. No, one more up.
Yeah.
Right there. So you're going to delete whatever that blue is. So you're going to right click, delete, and then replace with our blue. Define swatch. Yep, right there. And then with our blue, which is the dark one in the folder.
There we go. Perfect.
We hit OK. And boom, it'll sync those up. So we can do that with the subheads as well, just to make sure that they're all the same color, right?
That's easy. Great. Love that.
It's magic.
Good way to work collaboratively, making sure you're got everything going here. This is perfect.
Yep.
I'm gonna do a little color bar at the bottom now that I want to use our new light blue there.
Nick's
Kind
out
of
of
digging
control.
that. Look at that.
So
And then arrangement and things like that, is that in the same area as far as object arrange? Yep,
oh,
there we go.
Yep, absolutely. So something
that,
else
break
that
it
we
apart.
can do here that I think would be interesting with some of your shapes is we can do some text wrapping. So I'm going to grab one of these burgers.
Go for it.
Oh my gosh, I said the words and I actually want to grab a burger. Like I want a burger,
Yeah,
please.
and we picked such delicious looking photography.
I know, it's
from
great.
Adobe Stock.
From Adobe Stock. Adobe stock.adobe.com/free. That's where you can get it. So I'm going to hop over to my screen and kind of show you if we have this shape, which Nick has a lot on his, and it's overlapping this type a little bit, we can make it so that it will push the text. Now, there are a couple ways to do this. We're going to go to Window, Text Wrap, and it's going to pop up over here. And right now, the text wrap, if we set it here, it's going to be the bounding box. So we'll make an actual square. And Nick, what is the difference between a path and a bounding box?
Are you talking about with the text wrap here?
Yes. What would be the difference between a bounding box and a shape? Yeah. What's a bounding
stumped
box?
me.
Let's start there.
Well, bounding box is like the entire space.
Yes.
Square.
So if you set it to the bounding box on the text
you
wrap,
go.
it is going to wrap this text to the square, right? Which
We don't
here
want that.
looks fine, but I want it to be a little bit extra zazz. So we're going to click on wrap around object shape and watch what happens. Oh, Andrew hit the wrong button.
Uh-oh.
There we go. So what it's done, and this is a super advanced thing that we'll cover in InDesign 201. I just hit the wrong button. Is we can actually do subject-aware wrapping in InDesign. So if we just want to wrap around the burger, it is detecting that the burger is here and setting the text wrapping
Not the mask.
to the burger. Yes.
How do you do it to the mask?
Yes,
Is that the difference?
That's
There
what
you
we're
go.
gonna do. Yeah. We are going to
just
go
hit the wrong
ahead
one.
and where is the button that I want? Don't do object. Don't do object. Detect edges. There we go. Detect edges. So down here, contour options. You can do select subject, which is what it was set to. You don't want that, but you can do detect edges, and that will make it so that it goes around the shape. Now,
I'm assuming the subject would be if you had a nice big picture of that burger, full bleed, and the copy is over that charcoal.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
right?
So
There you go.
if
Okay.
if we had it full bleed, or if you had something like this. So I'm going to place an image real quick, and it's going to be an image of Paul, our friend Paul. So I'm going to place this image of Paul right here, and you can see that it is a PNG, right?
Yes.
We don't have a background on that. It's just a picture of Paul. This is going to be Paul's Burgers now. And we're going to scale this down into the corner. And if we wanted to text wrap it, InDesign's super powerful of, again, just turning on right here, wraparound subject shape, and it's done the whole box, but we're going to change it to select subject and watch what happens. It has selected literally Paul's head. You can see all those points that it's found the subject and it is wrapping around that. So if I increase it, it will offset just a little bit to be wrapped around Paul's head, right?
Now, did you? I was on my page when you brought him in. Is he in a frame, or was it you just brought the whole picture over?
I brought the whole picture over.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yep.
cool. I'm gonna try that.
And so now it is fully wrapped around Paul's head, right? It is a super powerful tool that is, I feel like doesn't exist in any other program. And it's so good for InDesign, especially for technical layouts like this. It just looks gorgeous.
So if I bring in the picture of our Rapunzel Red Riding Hood here, let's see. Okay.
Paul Burgers.
And I want to get this to, so I'm going to do right click fitting, right?
Yes.
To proportion.
Yay.
There we go. Now,
Okay.
can we edit her out,
So
or is it too hard because of those strings?
in theory, it could work. So let's say that we had like white text. So it's not going to mask her out completely. So Paul's was already cut out, right? Which would be super easy using Adobe Creative Cloud Express. You could very easily remove the background from her. But if you click on it and then go to your text wrapping, it will probably make it so that it wraps around her body.
Well, even it wasn't so much to get a text wrap around her shape, but just to isolate her from the background.
Yes, that
Just
is
do it in-
that is not something that's integrated in InDesign, but that is something that's very easy in Adobe Creative Cloud Express,
Yeah. Oh,
which
yes.
you could learn by going to youtube.com/Adobe Creative Cloud Express. There's a ton of great content there. We're live pretty much every morning doing Adobe Creative Cloud Express. So go subscribe to that. Link will be in chat. Wade will drop that link, and go subscribe, and then just leave a comment on the latest video. Let them know that you're coming from office hours, right? Let them know we're doing a raid. We're doing a raid. So Wade will drop that link for us, and then everybody go comment on the video that you're coming from office hours and subscribe. Why not?
Perfect. I want to add my little story to maybe with a different color background box or something. You know what I mean? Like I got this nice space here.
Yep. And so let's go ahead and do that. How would you make just a shape of a color? I don't think that we've done that yet. Like everything's just been images and
So
text.
I'm going to give it a shot here and just say like, I think this is going to work. Actually, I want to go behind the pictures. So I'm going to do that. And then we use one of our lighter blues.
Yep.
There we go.
And so Nick,
then
real quick,
yeah.
right now, and I think that some people will run into this, right now that image is sitting on top of those bubbles. How do we send it to the back?
I'm going to imagine I could just go to arrange, send backwards right there. Look at that.
Yep. So
Do
we can send it
again.
backward, or we can just do send to back, which will send
back.
it
There
all
you
the way
go.
to the back right there. So easy
at
way, and you can
that.
still edit it, but it will stay behind those shapes that we have.
Perfect. There we go. So we got that. And then we've got a little bit of a story right here. I'm going to say, probably just edit this down. I'm going to go from here to here. Let's cut off maybe this part just because
Buy copy.
looks like we might not have a lot. So
Yeah,
perfect.
endangered
So now-
animals aren't important. You can just go ahead and just erase that copy from the planet, Nick. Gotcha.
There's going to be big murals in the cafe. They're going to know
They'll
everything
know.
that they need to know.
They'll
there
know the
as
story.
well.
Yeah, that'll be good.
And plus, I'm just thinking like a lot of times too, if it's a big paragraph, you might not get someone to want to read it. Like, do you want to make it a little bit more like, oh, that doesn't look like too hard here. Like this is an easy read, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to add, I'm assuming I can do it here as well with leading. So I'm going to kind of like increase some space here.
Yep. And
That
so
looks
Nick,
good.
we want to do something
Yeah.
before we do any of that. What is the
what-
place that we should start with this text?
Column?
Nope. We need to make it look like the other text, right? And so the easiest way to
yes.
do that, if we do any formatting, when we eyedropper it, it's going to erase that formatting. So let's go ahead and select all of that text. Just double click
Yes.
in Command A. And then we're going to grab the eyedropper tool and just click
Yep.
on some of our body copies so that the same font and colors come over.
There we go.
And now you can do any custom formatting. So remember,
Perfect.
anytime you're doing custom formatting, if you're going to copy from somewhere else, it's going to bring all of that formatting over. So don't waste your time. Copy the formatting first using the eyedropper tool, and then you can do all of your customizations.
There we are.
And Nick, while you do this and lay this out, I do want to do a quick highlight over on my screen. We have some awesome work coming in from Katarina. Katarina
let's
did a
see.
cover. Look at how gorgeous this is.
Oh my gosh. Love it. That looks great.
That's awesome. So super great work here. Love the colors, love the placement. It looks like what's cool is I think that this image is rotated a little bit. And so you can rotate within a frame in InDesign. You can rotate those. And I'm not on screen, but just know that I was doing this. I was like, you can rotate it. And then I realized my face wasn't even there.
I can almost see that on like a leather bound, like
Yes.
those old menus,
Yes.
that actually had like a leather binding. That would look so neat.
Yep, absolutely. And look there's a story that's been laid out here. This looks awesome. This looks great. So
Very
great
nice
job. If you
on this.
ever design anything you want feedback on, if you're ever watching an episode and you end up wanting to post your work for some feedback, toss it in Discord. The link's right there, discord.gg/ACC. And we'll be happy to give you some feedback. And Nick, you're doing some formatting here. It's looking good.
So I'm going to put our story here.
Some brand positioning.
You got to do that. Come on.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And now, so I'm going to just double click here and maybe go with this one. There we go. Upper and lowercase looks nice.
Look at that. So in 201, we will show you how to bypass using the eyedropper tool. You can actually set layer styles and you can link them to hotkeys. So you don't have to select anything. You can literally highlight the text and hit like Command 3 and it will format it. So we'll do that in 201, which will be coming up in it's probably going to be in a couple months when we circle back. But you can do that very easily using the eyedropper tool right now.
Very cool. This is great. I'm feeling really comfortable. This is like it's always been intimidating just because it is an app that you are not sure of, at least I wasn't, and I would go to Illustrator to build something like this when I know I should be doing it in InDesign.
Yep,
You know?
and it is very fringe. And when you're using a lot of copy, it's very, very easy to work in InDesign. So Nick, can you do something that is just for me because it's driving me
Go for
crazy?
it.
Can we fix that blue to one of the blues in our color scheme?
Which one? This blue down
The
here?
super bright one.
It is in our color scheme.
Oh, it is? Oh, it's
Yeah.
super hot. Okay.
But here, there we go.
Thank you.
That help you out?
That helps my heart a little bit. Yes.
And I think we should probably take this one then. And maybe what I'm going to do is keep it that brightness, but let's go to 70% maybe.
Yeah, and I want to show something. I'll hop
Cool.
over my screen real quick. So right now, the contrast isn't great on what Nick has right on that text, right? So we have, I think he has one more up. We have this blue color and then the black color, and it's not really contrasting well. What I can do is I could select all this text, right? I can double click in here, select the text, and go in and change it to white. But you can actually do something different. We're going to click right here, and we are going to go to our swatches panel. And you can see here that there are, all right, we're gonna pretend like we're using this one. I'm actually gonna use one of these because it'll work better. So with our text box selected, you can see that there are two options happening over here. There is the shape, right? And that's affecting the container. So I can turn the entire container a color and it won't affect the text.
Nice.
But if we click on the T right here, it will change just the text. So now the text can be read within that box. So Nick, if you want to change your text there to white and then increase some contrast, all you need to do is select the text box and then click on that swatches to change the color. You don't have to go in and select things. It will change everything within that box.
Ah, I see.
Oh.
Yeah, look at that.
You changed the box. Okay, so
I
undo
changed
that.
the paper. Okay.
Yep, and then right above where you, right above at the very top, there's a T, two more.
Yep.
Keep going. Right there. So right now that's
Yes.
the shape, and then next to it is the text. So click on text, and there, if we change it to white, it is going to change it on the text.
Ah, there we go. Look at that.
Right? Pro tips.
Very nice. Pro tips.
Pro tips here in office hours. And it looks like Elizabeth has shared in Discord. Updated from
Wait.
last week.
That's a good one.
So here is some work that was updated from last week. I believe that we were working in Photoshop last week. And here is some work from Elizabeth. Ooh.
Love that. Looks good.
Gorgeous. That's awesome.
I like the texture in the background of the window. That looks really, really good.
Yeah, it's great to get that shading. And I love the highlight that you've done in the hair to give it some dimension. That's awesome.
Looking good. Man, you guys were killing it. We went and reviewed all the stuff in homework the other day and just nonstop.
Yes.
So good to see what you guys are doing.
There's a lot of great work in there.
All stemming from this fun, fictitious cafe.
Yes. So we'll be continuing this series, but Nick, what is coming up next week for all these people who have just joined us? Or
I feel like I'll be back in my wheelhouse a little bit. We are starting our logo boot camp. How to make a great logo. It's starting off next week.
hold on,
can't
y'all.
wait.
Hold on,
Yeah.
on.
What happened?
I messed up here. Hold on, wait, we got it. All right. Okay, let's do that transition one more time. Hey everybody, there was no technical issue. I just had not sized it right, and it looked like crap. So hey everybody, we're doing logos. Nick, what are we doing next week?
Next week, we are starting our logo bootcamp with how to make a great logo. We're going to go through everything as far as what types of logos you should be looking at, all the different configurations of them. But for 5 weeks, it's going to give us that. This is our first really like deep dive into like one topic, right? This is great.
It is
I
going to
can't
be
wait.
all logos. And for those of you that want to set your calendars, every week for the next 5 weeks, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. And next week will be Logo Basics 101. The week after that will be Logo Word Marks. The week after that, so week 3 is going to be your icons. And then week 4 will be creating a scalable, adaptable logo, right? Like Coca-Cola has different variations.
Responsive.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the last week, which is 5 weeks from now, will be how to turn your logo into a brand. So you can set your reminders on your calendar, just toss it on there. And yes, the marker is my favorite thing. Nick and I did do a photo shoot. We've got like 1 minute left, so I'll just tell you about this. We did a photo shoot and our thumbnails are changing up. So If you guys like the new thumbnails, please let us know. We're trying to make them super clickbaity for YouTube. So if you like them,
hit a like or two on YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah. Let us know. And yeah, thanks so much for joining us today. This was a really fun time. Nick, what is your favorite thing that you learned?
Showing me a little bit of InDesign.
What's your favorite thing that you learned today in InDesign?
Just being comfortable on it, really, to be honest with you. It's way too familiar. I mean, it's everything you know. It's just maybe a different spot and a different reason, but it works.
Yep.
It's so great.
Nick, can you do a favor and can you hit just W, the W key?
Yes.
There we go. So W will crop everything in, so it's a preview of what you're going to be printing.
InDesign.
And Nick, this is really good. Like this looks really good for the first time in InDesign. So congratulations, and hopefully everybody, yours look great as well. You can drop those into our Discord and we can review them through the week. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week for another episode of Office Hours. Nick, when and where do they tune in?
Every Friday, 2:30 Pacific time. Behance.net/Adobe Live.
We did it. We made it. Bye, everybody.